You have the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would like first to thank the Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the President of the United Arab Emirates, as our really excellent host here in Dubai. Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a sense of urgency and a call to action that I address you today on behalf of Croatia, which has experienced record flooding, the most violent and devastating storm in its history, repeated exceptional tides, and the hottest year ever recorded. Unfortunately, the alarms of climate change are ringing louder than ever, every day. And the grim reality is that global warming is accelerating rather than slowing down. Greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise when it is urgent that they decrease. For the first time in the history of humankind, on November 17th, we exceeded the symbolic threshold of 2% of global warming since the beginning of the industrial era. Not so long ago, this seemed unthinkable. This is a clear warning that we must do much more to curb climate change. However, we are doing the opposite. Half of the cumulative CO2 emissions emitted over the past 2 centuries have been emitted over the past 3 decades, and they continue to grow. It is now clear that the initial goal set by the Paris Agreement to keep global warming below 1.5% Celsius is no longer within our reach. Without a radical breakthrough, the cumulative emissions inevitably leading to a 2% warming will be reached in 2 decades. This means that we have very little time left to act. Worse yet, efforts must now be intensified to stay below 2%, and the challenge already seems monumental. But this is nothing compared to the consequences that such warming would cause if we did not prevent it. Scientists are unanimous. It would cause migrations on an unprecedented scale, disrupt the political and economic stability of the world, and threaten biodiversity, food security, and world peace. We must do everything to avoid such a catastrophic scenario, which requires our collective action. Croatia distinguishes itself within the European Union with our 5th rank for electricity production from renewable sources and our 8th rank for gross energy consumption from renewable sources. We have demonstrated our commitment to a sustainable future. Our 12th position worldwide in implementing the Sustainable Development Goals reflects our determination to integrate sustainable growth into our national priorities. We have taken significant steps by introducing environmental management in public administration and incorporating eco-friendly criteria in our green public procurement. Croatia's carbon pricing has already led to a 43% reduction in CO2 emissions, and we are extending the emission trading systems to the transport and construction sectors. As the 18th global tourist destination, we strongly advocate for sustainable tourism. Innovative legislation is underway, giving more consideration to the interests of local communities and providing them with tools to mitigate the impact of tourism on the environment. Clean energy is the future. With substantial geothermal potential, Croatia is preparing numerous projects that will serve as renewable, stable, and independent sources of electricity production. The DONES project, a joint effort of Croatia and Spain, explores ways to harness fusion, a clear nuclear energy akin to the power that fuels the sun, within a few decades. Croatia is participating in the Hydrogen Valley project, which brings together several countries in the northern Adriatic region. Aimed at enhancing cooperation in research and innovation, this flagship initiative aspires to develop a green hydrogen supply chain, where Croatia aims to play a significant regional role in the future. Even if Croatia is not a big polluter, we aspire to redouble our efforts because the future of our children is at stake. If Croatia, which recovered from a devastating war 3 decades ago, can now do more than its share, it would be to the credit of the largest and the richest nations not to do less. This is all the more important when we know that the richest 10% are responsible for half of CO2 emissions, while the poorest half of humanity only generates 8% of emissions. More than ever, we must act without delay and in proportion to our impact on global warming. Croatia is determined to play its full part as a reliable partner within the COP Convention. Thank you very much for your attention and all the best.
Thank you, Your Excellency.